Welcome to LinkedIn Squad. I'm really excited to see you all. I hope what we're doing here is working and making a difference for you. I have to admit, like a week ago, I was throwing a little existential fit. Like I put so much work into this LinkedIn presence and what happens. And then like 3 days later, I had a call with a new member. And I said, well, how did you know about us? And it was from that. So just when you think that, it's all in vain, it seems getting results. So I hope to hear that that's the case for everybody else. Dana's just going to start us off. Oh, I just wanted to give a quick objective here. Our objective is to help each other grow on LinkedIn by sharing strategies, supporting each other's posts, and building real visibility for all of us individually and everybody else in our squad. And I hope tonight everybody leaves with, the results are like you have some fresh ideas, stronger connections with the people here on the call, some cool insights that you can use it to your benefit, and real ways to amplify your voice and your message. So that is the objective. So Dana, I know she has a few things to share with us.
Yeah. And it's, again, all of the things that when we started this off and, Liz and I did some tips and tricks. And then the last one I missed because I took a header down the stairs of my office, which was, don't wear flip-flops and run upstairs. That's just the lesson right there. When you're old, maybe you can do it when you're younger, but not me. Because that little flip-flop just hit one of those stairs and I went ass over tea kettle. Yeah, luckily nothing was broken, but I was bruised and banged and shook up pretty good. So sorry that I missed the last one, but I've been seeing all of the videos come out of Liz and all of the cool stuff that she shared. So that's always really, what this is about. And one of the reasons why I wanted to get involved with this particular thing that, Molly is doing. We have such great labs that are going on with AI and all other kinds of stuff, but specifically this one with LinkedIn really resonates with me because I have been on a personal brand power trip, I guess you'll say, for the last couple of years. And Molly, you say that, you've been doing it over these few months, right? And sometimes you're just like, this is not working. Yeah, I can tell you 2 years in, there are still days that I'm like, this is not working. Leora!
Hi.
So yeah, I mean, the thing that I would say is like, just don't give up, right? Just don't give up. And if you feel like giving up, then call me or text me and I will tell you, don't give up. Because that's really what is the power behind LinkedIn is the consistency, which is kind of funny because that's kind of the power of life, right? Is the consistency of what we do and how we show up for people and how we show up for ourselves, which is something that I really wasn't doing before I started this whole kind of LinkedIn journey over the last couple of years, right? Like I was showing up in spades for anyone who asked me, but to really show up for myself, that wasn't something that I got, really comfortable with. It's kind of like the 3 G's that I go by, and you may have heard me say this before, but it's the grit, the grind, and the grace, right? The grace was something that I used to give to everybody, but I rarely gave it to myself. And so that has been a practice, especially with LinkedIn. Like I put something dumb out there, I've got to be able to show myself some grace. Like, all right, well, that didn't work. All right. So, where are we going to come, back to? So I really want to encourage you of the consistency of it. most all of us have a mortgage background, I think, right? And think about like the 4 C's. Remember those 150 years ago when we talked about credit, collateral, capacity, all of that. The C for LinkedIn is consistency, consistency, consistency. And that will just generate more interest because people are like, oh, okay, like I'm starting to see, more and more of, Leora or Molly. And listen, Leora, I need to give you a major big, hand clap, shake out, because your content has dramatically changed like in the last 90 days. And it's gotten so good and so on point and so diversified. You've personalized it, you've professionalized it, like you've just done all of the right things to set you up for success. I'm hopeful, and I don't know if you can, like, if you're still keeping it a big secret of where you're going and what you're doing, but I'm crossing my fingers that opportunity came at least in part with your presence from LinkedIn and some of the things that you were doing.
It actually did, and I still cannot share. We're close.
Okay.
We're close to being able to share, but it did. It came from specifically a post where I said, did you know that you can get scammed on LinkedIn when you're looking for a job? The whole open to work hashtag can actually bring about throngs of people who will fix your resume or help you find a job, but you have to pay all of this money out. And then I don't know, maybe it was a trauma dump or whatever you want to call it, but I was just like, after 6 months, why am I still here? Why am I still unemployed when the people who know me in this space know how passionate I am about mortgage, and not just mortgage, but just helping people in general. So I have, for the last 3 months, have been interning at my local veteran service office, and I have helped. The job pays nothing. It's $15 an hour. I work 20 hours a week, and it has been one of the most rewarding jobs I've ever had because I get to actually help people at the ground level. And it's because of that work that I feel more empowered to speak for those who may not be able to speak for themselves or be able to have the right words to advocate for themselves. And I found LinkedIn to be one of the best places to do that.
It's so exciting. I hope you don't take it the wrong way when I say this, but I'm so proud of you. I think that is absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It has not been easy, and there are days where getting out of bed is super tough, but I have the support of my family and all of you. And so I'm grateful for that. And again, I wouldn't be where I am or have these opportunities if I didn't have a platform like LinkedIn. So
yeah. That's so awesome. I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited that there was an opportunity, that came from actually the platform itself, right? Because I do think it gives hope to some other people that are on here doing some other stuff. Hi, Kim Hoffman.
Hi. I'm going to just do this because it's a smaller audience. I'm the smart one who actually hired her.
Shut the front door.
Yeah.
I am so in love with that answer. That is amazing.
Yeah.
How about
I haven't told my whole team. She starts on Monday, but I read her post on LinkedIn. So if you think nobody's reading those posts, Tara knows I read them as well. I just was like, what the F is going on? That these great talented people are sitting, wanting to be in the game, and nobody is picking up on this great content that these women are putting out there. And so I'm the
again,
benefactor.
this is still an embargo. We are not to share. So, but oh my gosh, thank you, Kim.
This is a trusted tribe right here, and I'm so excited for that. That is going to be amazing. And that brings up a great point, Kim, is not everybody that is seeing your content is necessarily liking or commenting or sharing, but that doesn't mean that it's not resonating in some deep way, right? Or it's not facilitating an idea about something. So it's really easy to get wrapped up in the engagement or the impressions of the platform. And, you know, I know that Kim is on LinkedIn, but I don't often see her making a tremendous amount of comments on a lot of posts or liking or otherwise. I mean, I've seen her, you know, do some of that, but, you know, not where it's, you know, you're seeing her every day being in that engagement. So that's just a testimony that, you know, hey, what we're putting out there is it matters and it's important and it's hitting home with people who may not even actually be engaging with the message. So that's really cool.
I think it's super important. And I'm sorry that there's actually, you know, such a small audience tonight. But I think we all, if we're in this industry and we can help people, and look, I don't have a job for everybody. Leora has a skill set. I'm in a need for that skill set, managing some of the operations, the day-to-day grind. You know, but there's been others, you know, that I desperately wanted to help, but I didn't have a job, but I used my network to push their resume and help them make contacts with others. And I think it's super important that we do that. You know, it won't always work out, but look, I will. So earlier in my career, way before LinkedIn was a thing, during the subprime meltdown, I was laid off like everybody else, but mine was for a very short period of time. But I reached out to some friends, and it's like they were all working, and nobody even returned my phone call. I'm like, WTF?
Yeah.
And I think, you know, they're like, well, I can't help, and I'm trying to hang on to my own thing as best I can. And I get that, but just a conversation that says, hey, I'm sorry that happened to you. I can't help, but let me talk to other people that I know, would have just meant so much. And so we're all going to experience it. We all have experienced it. And so we just owe it to one another to try to help in that journey to the what's next.
Yeah.
And what's funny is that I have had a lot of people reach out to me in the last 6 months, but it's always been, do you want to try doing this sales thing where you only get paid on commission and all this other crazy stuff? And then Kim messaged me and she's like, I think I might have an idea on a way I can help you out. And I was like, oh gosh, another sales position. And so, but I still went in with an open mind, like, yes, I will send you my resume and we can have a discussion. Who do you want to farm me out to? And she's like, oh no, I have bigger plans for you. And so you still have to keep an open mind when you have some of these discussions. It could be crap. It could be the position you've been waiting for. And I'm, you know, it's hard for me, and Molly, you know, I get emotional when I'm very excited about things, but you just, as my father-in-law says, the universe tends to unfold as it should. And those opportunities come and you just never know how they come or where. And you just have to have the open mind to see those through. And sometimes people tell me I'm a little too open and vulnerable on social. I don't know if that'll ever change because that's just who I am. Of course, I'll stay within the confines of the company that I work for. If there's certain things I can't talk about, that's cool. But I'm still authentically me, and I don't know if that'll ever change because people resonate with that when they need to.
100%. I hope you never change it either. Authenticity is, I think, the absolute thing that everybody should strive to be, right? And so if your authenticity is emotional, I think, you know, that's okay too. If your authentic self is to be a little bit more, you know, brash and brazen, that's cool too, right? But however you show up, if you're showing up and that's the same person that shows up in the boardroom, on LinkedIn, if we're having a cocktail, whatever it is, if that person is the same person through all of those things, then I don't think anybody could ask for anything different, Leora. So I think that's amazing. And Kim, you're absolutely 100% right. I can't tell you how many times over the last several years where I've been displaced for one reason or the other, the market, or I decided to, you know, do a VC company and they didn't get their capital, whatever it is, right? To be in a position, you know, that I was reaching out to people to go completely, you can see that it's been read, like a text message or a DM, and no response. And I mean people that you know in the industry. Like all you had to say to me is, man, I hate this, that you're going through this right now. If there's something that comes my way or I think of, I'll connect you, right? Like, it's not a whole big dialogue of something, but just to leave somebody out there feeling like, and after it goes unread for days, I'm thinking, oh man, did I mess up, or did I not think that I had there? Like, and then you start questioning yourself about it.
Mhm.
And man,
and it's so hard to put yourself out there when you're super vulnerable, and finding the balance between coming off as like disgustingly desperate and that you're just really interested. And so finding that balance is really hard, especially like the longer you've been out of work and you see the FOMO, right? Like, everyone's going to the conferences and everybody's like staying engaged and staying in touch, and here I am, like, I don't know, with my tail out in the wind with nothing going on, and being left unread is just the worst feeling. And so I just, when people reach out to me, it's for a reason. And even if I can't help them, I read it, let me see what I can do. Or I'm sorry, I don't have any connections in that space, but if I think of anything, I'll let you know. Or I'm just here if you need someone to talk to. Sometimes that's all you need.
100.
I do want to say also, I'm not vulnerable on LinkedIn at all. Like, hell, I don't think I am when I'm even talking to you one-on-one. But when I read Leora's post, at first I was taken aback by how vulnerable she was and how authentic she was. And I thought, God, I could never do that. But her pain is what connected me to her and why I called her. I didn't have a job for her. I rearranged my deck chairs to make a space for her.
I love it.
And I wish I could do that every time, but I did learn a great lesson in that vulnerability is your truth.
Yep.
Wow.
And I applaud
Thank you.
anybody that can put that out there.
Man, there's some ladies missing out on some amazing discussions tonight. That's okay. They can have FOMO, right?
For sure. Well,
so
Diane-
Megan had her hand up for a minute. I just want to make sure.
If I did, it was by accident. But hi, I joined a little late, and this is my first time joining the LinkedIn squad. So it's nice
hi,
to
Megan.
be back.
Here.
We
Yeah,
have
I'm
a
excited.
lot of new people tonight, I think, and just a bunch of new people that just joined. So I just want to say really quickly before Dana takes it over, our objective here is just to help each other grow on LinkedIn, to achieve whatever our goals are on LinkedIn together, by sharing strategies, supporting each other's posts, collaborating, and building real visibility individually and as a group. We think we can really help amplify each other's messages if we're working together. So that's the whole point of the squad. And thank you for being here. We have some serious power on this Google Meet. I'm excited about it.
Yeah, we do for sure. I'm excited to see some new faces. This is the third one of these that we did. The first one, Liz and I did together, and kind of each gave some, tips and tricks. And we talked about don't be the weirdo at the party. Like, don't be the weirdo out in LinkedIn, right? That there's some really key ways, to participate in LinkedIn, whether it's, comments or your own posts. And then I think each of these just get, just a little bit more, maybe a little bit deeper, or for ones that have never joined before, just that little thought bubble that's like, oh, I didn't know that, right? Things as simple as, here's a tip. If you're responding to someone from their content, when you hit reply, their full name pops up, right? And then you can type your verbiage. If you just backspace to their first name, it still tags them, but then you don't have all of their name or maybe all of the letters that go behind their name. It just looks a little more personal, right? So instead of Dana Giorgio, certified fund manager, certified private lender, all the, little acronyms, MBA that you have after it, if I back that up, it would just be Dana, hey, great thought about, right? Who knew that was something that you could do, right? I thought if you backspace, it just wiped their name out and then they would never get a notification about that. So if you didn't know that little tip, there you go. You're welcome. All the fun things you'll learn on LinkedIn Squad. So along that vein, one of the other things that we talked about is, your banner and your headshot, right? Whether or not we choose to believe that, people are visually picking us for things, we can live in, any type of world that says, oh, no, that's not happening. Everybody loves a redhead. Well, not everybody loves a redhead, but that doesn't matter. I'm a redhead, right? And so having my picture, a current headshot, not one from, like prom 1984 out there, which actually would be horrifying. So let's not do that one. But, maybe from one, like, I don't know, when I was in my 40s, that's looking okay. When I was in my 40s, I'm pushing 60 now, right? So having something that's relevant, that connects, someone really to you. So if I'm walking at a conference and I haven't met you before, I can't tell you how many times people are like, you're Dana, I've seen you on LinkedIn. Well, they probably haven't seen me, but they have seen my picture, right? So I want to encourage all of you to, put a great, and you don't have to spend hundreds of dollars to go to a headshot photographer anymore, right? There's all kinds of cool AI tools that you can use to create a really beautiful headshot. So you can do that. And then your banner behind it. That's a big miss by a lot of folks, right? They just either have, maybe their company banner behind them, but that's another way to tell people who you are, what you do, what's meaningful to you. So like if you went to my LinkedIn profile right now, you'd see that I have on there, the book icon has been added. I'm really a big believer in leadership growth and, driving revenue and potential. And, talking about that, I've added lending luminary, up in there, just key things that make it easy for someone to be able to get, a real quick insight of who I am. That way they don't have to go into my profile, right? They're getting some immediate headlines or teasers, if you will. So if you haven't done either one of those, headshot updates or your banner, let me encourage you to do that. If you're not using Canva as a tool, the free version does everything that you need it to, or you can upgrade to Pro for $119 a year and look like you're a graphic artist, right? So easy. And you can use it to create carousels and banners and content like you would not even believe. So those are a few of the tricks. The other cool thing of a tip that I want to share tonight is you can customize your URL LinkedIn profile, right? So, when it's like linkedin.com/Dana Giorgio, it could be linkedin.com/lending luminist, right? Well, people want to know what a lending luminist is because nobody's ever heard of a lending luminist. So you can get really creative with those types of things. You don't have to just take what's given. You can have some creative processes put into all different types of things with LinkedIn. So if you have something that's catchy or that you think would make a good profile that'll resonate, because the other thing is oftentimes if I'm like signing up for things, it asks me for my LinkedIn profile and I'm like, oh, what is it? And then I'm like, oh, it's just my name. Like that's okay, whatever. But if it has something, snazzy or catchy, that might just kick with somebody that are like, oh, that's kind of cool. I want to know a little bit more about that. Or, maybe I'm applying for a marketing role, right? And instead of just having my name, I have something snazzy to do with marketing, that just may trigger a different response than just my name. And that's really what this is all about, is using LinkedIn to trigger responses. Now, that can be comments, it can be likes, it could be job opportunities, it can be a whole bunch of things. It is whatever it is to you at the time, right? And that can certainly change over, time. Mine certainly has, right? The reasons of me doing different things on LinkedIn have, evolved or progressed depending on, what I'm doing at the time. Meaning if I'm doing something with my consulting company, Lending Luminary, or if I'm doing something fractional for, one of my partners, but they want it to look like I'm aligned with their brand. So all of those things can evolve as you evolve on LinkedIn. So I'm going to pause because I sometimes am like, I just can't shut up about LinkedIn. Molly.
I wanted to make sure also, while everybody is still able to be on the call, I would love to go around and just introduce yourself quickly, not like your resume, but what I was thinking was what your name is and what you want to be known for on LinkedIn.
Ooh, good one.
If we could do that quickly, then I think everybody then kind of knows what the messaging is to best support and help everybody. And then I added a pinned comment in the chat here. It's a Google Doc that has every Athena's Council member and a link to their LinkedIn. And there's some verbiage, some sample verbiage you can copy and paste, like, hey, we're both members, love to connect, in case you're not connected to everybody. But I wanted to make sure I mentioned that. So is everybody cool with just doing just a popcorn type, my name is so-and-so, and what this is what I want to be known for on LinkedIn?
Yeah, I love that. I'll go first. I'm Dana Giorgio, and I want to be known as the ultimate encourager on LinkedIn. I want to encourage in personally, professionally, impact in a positive way, any way that I can on LinkedIn. That's what I want to be known for.
My name is Leora, and I want to be known as the person who is authentically herself, good, bad, or anything in between.
Man, Molly, you don't make this intro easy. I'm
my
Kim
name-
Hoffman. I'm the president of Mortgage Connect Risk Solutions. I think I want to be known on LinkedIn for genuinely caring about the people who are on LinkedIn with me and in my network and helping to make their journey and their career as good as it can be.
I'll go
next.
My name is Jill, and I would say, based on the history that I have had, I would like to be known as the one who makes chaos compliant.
Ooh, I like it. You should have a t-shirt.
I should.
I like that one, Jill.
Thank you.
I'm Tara Sullivan. I'd like to be known for taking complex risk and operational challenges and making them clear with actionable strategies. Also that I'm collaborative and forward thinking in my mindset.
Before the next person goes, because Tara said that, I want to say this to you. Then I want to see you start posting tips on how that happens. Start sharing the brilliance of you so people who are hiring for people like you see it. It's not giving the milk away for free before they buy the cow. That saying goes out the door anymore, right? I want to see you show up in a brilliant way because you have got some really amazing gift to share. And I think if you start putting some of that out there, Tara, you're going to see some difference in the people that are engaging. My opinion.
Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Kristen, you want to go?
Sure. Kristen Broadley. I don't know how to follow all of these great kind of this is how I want to show up. So I want to show up as someone who supports smaller, visionary, needed programs and companies, who helps give them a voice, expose them to a network, helps grow things that helps the industry grow, and be that supportive presence for the companies that I work with, the companies that are discovered, and then everyone like at Athena's Council.
Awesome.
Everybody, I am Mose. I go by Mo, and I want to be. I know who I am, but I want to be known on LinkedIn for just being that mortgage business savvy woman that wants to connect with people on a way to continue to be able to be successful in business, but to do it by reaching every community that's out there. There's a business case for it. And doing so means, again, you have more profits, but also you're doing well while doing good.
Um,
I
I'll
love
go.
that.
I might be the
So
last
good.
person to go anyway. That was a good one, Mo. So I'm Meg Handy, and I want to be known as a marketing strategist who is keeping the industry focused on the home buyer or the borrower.
That's a needed thing, Meg, for sure, right? I think a lot of folks have lost sight of why we started in this business, to begin with. I was just telling a story to someone the other day, and it still hits me in my heart. Every Christmas, I get a Christmas card from a guy that I did my first loan with 32 years ago. To this day, I get a Christmas card because he was in such a dire financial strait. His wife had just passed. He's now trying to raise it was the hardest deal I've ever done. And it was my first deal. And we worked on it together for months, and it changed his life. It changed my life. And so every Christmas, I get a card from him, and it means the world to me. So
I love that. That's an awesome story.
Yeah. Cool. Did we get everybody, Molly? Yeah. You're on mute. So if you're talking.
Yes, that is everybody. And that's super helpful because we'll share that with everybody in the squad here, just to recap, so they know how to promote you, how to talk about you, how to show up for you. That's the whole idea. So thanks for doing that. I know it's hard.
Yeah. And it's not just show up for you when you need something, right? Like you're looking for a job or you need it's just showing up for each other. Some of the posts that I have put out there are like things that I've learned from Kevin. Kevin is my billy goat. My husband and I have a small ranch here in Cleveland, Texas. And he's got this really awesome beard that's like ZZ Top worthy. I am talking like major beard. And he teaches me the coolest stuff all the time, right? And so when people show up and they know about Kevin and they're like, oh, that's a really cool lesson, right? It's not just about when I need something, it's showing up for each other in all of the areas that impact our lives. And this ranch is really important to me, right? And the things and the animals that are on here are really important to me. And so when people show up in those types of comments, that really moves me in a lot of ways. And so I would absolutely encourage you guys that, when you're putting that stuff out there, it's not just about, asking for help. We should be showing up for each other all the time, regardless of, if help has been asked for or not.
So to that point, we only have a little over 20 minutes left, and I want to make sure that if anybody has any questions about, hey, this is a challenge I'm having on LinkedIn, does anybody know how to overcome it? If anybody has specific questions like that the group can help with. And also, I wanted, if anyone has a tip or mindset shift or a tool that they've been using that they'd like to share with the group that might really benefit everybody. So first, let's start with the ask. Does anybody
I
need
was
help?
in a LinkedIn cohort with Dan Smo. I'm going to butcher his last name. Sorry, Dana Smo. Thank you. Back in January, and something I learned that I didn't know about is I've been told if you don't tag people and use hashtags, you get lost in the algorithm on LinkedIn. However, if you tag people who don't engage, LinkedIn doesn't like that either. And so I've learned to be specific on, I just tried to tag all the people that I thought were the most relevant in my space on LinkedIn, but then some of those would not engage at all. So I'm like, you know what? I'm kicking them to the curb. You don't get the benefit of being tagged on my awesome LinkedIn post. And so, but I have learned that is something that LinkedIn will bury your posts if you tag people consistently who do not engage in your posts. So that was something I found really interesting. So.
Yeah, that's a really, really good tip. I had learned that probably like summer of last year as I've been kind of going through the process. Great to see you too, Kim.
Thanks, Kim.
I didn't
Bye-bye.
learn that until about last month at our last LinkedIn squad meeting. I've been tagging all these people all the time, and I've started to be much more strategic about it, just like what you're saying, Leora.
I mean, it
'Cause-
sucks because some of these people, I'm like, you were like, you're big in the space and you're very and then of course my imposter monster, because that's what I call it, was like, oh, you're tagging them and they're not responding. That's because they don't like you. And so I just have to like ignore that and move on and be like, that's just because you're busy, or maybe you didn't see the post. It doesn't matter. If you're if you're the Brian Coveys of the world, you probably get tagged on everything under the sun. So yeah, I've had to be more strategic as well, and I've seen an increase in my engagement as a result of that.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. I also, on the flip side, I don't know, unless I've just missed it, I can honestly say if somebody tags me, I feel like they've tagged me because I'm connected to that post in some way, right? They're looking for some value add. So if you tag me, you better expect me to show up, because I am going to be giving you some type of comment. Not to say that I've done it 100%, but I really dedicate time to the people that tag me in something to really engage with that message. Now, I'll tell you, sometimes, and perfect example, Paul Hindman tagged me in a post, and we're on opposite ends of things a lot of times. So I know he does it to just like goad me to see if he's going to get me to respond to his negative. But I don't fall for it every time. So, if you're putting out messages of encouragement, or you're being your authentic self and you're tagging me and there's some industry thing, I'm showing up all the time. If you're goading me into some crappy debate, I'm probably going to leave you. Nah, not looking for that.
I actually saw that and I followed it, Dina, and I thought it was fantastic.
You did?
I did. I thought it was absolutely fantastic. I thought you were both somewhat restrained, and it was respectful. It may have been on kind of opposite viewpoints, but it was respectful. And so I thought it was great. I thought you came off fantastic.
I'm so glad that you said that. I appreciate that so much, because I truly believe we can respect people that we don't agree with, right? Yep. And so often, through the political environment, it's if you don't agree, you're my enemy. No, I just don't agree, right? We can both be positioned from whatever that is and give our honest, candid approach to something without, feeling like we're getting retaliated on. And I know, bless Paul's heart, often people will, attack him, right? He talks about that a lot. And he's really bold. And I think sometimes he does it so he gets that attack, but that's just not my MO, right? I've agreed with a lot of the stuff that he's put out there, and I've, said so. But when I disagree, and I'll tell you guys a little story. That's how Greg Scher and I actually connected on LinkedIn. Was he had made a post about a year ago along the lines of, this guy who did something. And my comment was, well, I wonder what would have been said if that had been a woman. And that post went nuts. I mean, bonkers nuts. And it wasn't from, like an attacking him for what he had said. It was just hey, I've experienced this. And, from my position, I'm wondering. And so that's where I don't know that Greg and I would have ever crossed paths if it hadn't been, for something like that. So I would encourage everybody that, you see something that just like, ooh, hurt my feelings, or that stepped on my toes a little. To put yourself out there in a really, candid and open way. And if you get retaliated on, listen, those are just trolls sitting behind a LinkedIn screen, right? That's what I chalk it up to now.
Well, also that's what the squad's for. So if things get spicy, and even just a tiny little bit spicy, please let anybody here know, and we will be there immediately.
We will rally the troops and we will circle the wagons.
Yes, ma'am. I love that, Jill.
They will regret. They will rue the day.
So awesome.
So anyway, go ahead.
Leora, it's so good to see you. I can't tell you how thrilled I am that you will be working with Kim Hoffman. That is amazing. I love that.
It's been so hard. Woo! I dropped my phone. Sorry. It's been so hard to keep it under wraps as well. So you guys are super lucky you get the inside scoop. Just keep it on the
I know. I love that.
She told me not to post about it until Monday, which has been like extraordinarily difficult for me, but it's okay. I respect it. It's okay. She still has people internally she has not told yet. So we have to go through the process. It's fine. But it's been hard for her to just be like, wow, you post on social a lot. And I'm like, yep. I hope you're okay with that, because I don't want to change, but we'll find a happy place. We'll find a happy common ground. So it's good.
I am sure you will. And if you make it to Houston to come down to see her, you let me know, because I'm 45 minutes from Kim.
Heck yeah. Well, we'll figure it out. But corporate is in Oklahoma City, so I think that's where I'm going to be spending most of my time. So Molly, I need your help, tips, tricks, places to avoid, whatever. Where I can.
I have a long list of those.
Just tell me where Wayne Coyne hangs out is really what's most important to me. So no,
I know exactly where he lives, Leora. So I'll just
don't
send you.
tell me that. Anyway, okay.
Underestimate Molly's private detective skills, apparently.
Well, Molly should tell everyone about the music video she was in case people don't know.
What?
With that, I'm going to go.
Do you all know who the Flaming Lips are? Do you know who the band is?
Which band?
The Flaming Lips.
See, Dana doesn't.
Flaming Lips?
It's like a cult. It's a culty thing. It's a band that got big like in the 90s from Oklahoma City. And I was in one of their early music videos, and now that it's like a culty thing in Oklahoma City, people recognize.
It's kind of famous. So
Anyway, which song is it? I'm going to look this up.
I gotta go, but it's called "She Don't Use Jelly." Love you, bye.
No, it's not.
Congratulations.
Bye, Leora.
The song is "Bad Days." Okay. Bad Days. I play the housekeeper at a hotel who's really harshing the band's gig while they're trying to party.
Oh.
I just learned you're like a diamond, Molly, right? You just turn it one little way and there's this whole other sparkle that you never saw. I love that. I love it. I love it. I love it.
I need to know how, with all of the next events and everything that I have been on and all of the conversations that we have had, how this has never come up, Molly. How is that possible?
I know. Well, it's, here's the deal is people who are Flaming Lips fans, most of the world probably doesn't know who they are at all, but then their fans are like super fans.
Right.
And I love them too. I think they're totally awesome. It was an amazing experience. I was working one of my favorite jobs ever, as front desk of a hotel. I met so many people, and I liked that job. And Wayne Coyne, the lead singer of the band, came in and asked if they could shoot a video there. And I didn't ask my manager. I didn't do anything. I'm like, yes, sir, you can. When can we get started? And do you have a spot for me? So
That is so awesome. I think we're gonna have to at some point, maybe the next one is we all have to tell like one little secret thing about ourselves. Because and I don't know that anyone's going to top that,
No.
but that's superstar material right there, Mal.
Thanks. It was cool. It was a really cool experience, and it was a fun time. And I do really love the band. I love the music. If I were stranded on a desert island, Yoshimi, that album, it could be the one. I don't know.
Wow.
I'm a big Swiftie too, so I like
Nope.
Taylor probably more. But we're totally off topic.
Well, we have a few minutes left. I want to give one last tip from my side of it. For those of you who, may not want to, create content and put visuals, a great way to get engagement is to do a poll. And I'm talking like random it doesn't have to be a poll about mortgage. It can be a poll about, chocolate versus non-chocolate, which I don't know why anyone would be a non-chocolate person, but whatever. That's, you do you. But
I see some of these dudes in the industry putting.
Oh my God, they put the stupidest stuff. But
Yeah, exactly.
Have you guys has anyone done a poll lately? I did my first poll last week. I actually think it probably just expired today. And I did repost it this morning because it was a poll that I honestly wanted people's opinion on. And it didn't get a lot of impressions. And then even I texted my friend, answer my poll. And she's like, that's weird. Your content always comes up for me. And I had to search for it. So I am wondering if LinkedIn's moving away from polls because they seem to be very into these slideshow things, which looks like a lot of work to make. I'm like, oh geez, am I gonna have to
The
make
carousels.
Yeah.
The carousel. It is the newest wave of things coming into LinkedIn. They're way easier to do than you think. Again,
Okay.
Get Canva will help you create.
Okay.
So that's interesting, Megan, because I haven't seen a poll come up from you, so I will go look for it as well. But that's the other thing that I will say to you. Anybody that you're really interested in, make sure that you go and click on the little bell in their profile. Because every time you post, I will get notified. It doesn't have to come up in my feed. It will actually come up in my notifications that you have posted so I can go right to it. And
Wait, if I click on your bell, you will get that?
if
I'll
you
show
click
you.
on my
Click on
bell,
my
you get
bell,
a notification of everything that I post and vice versa. Anybody that you have clicked on their ring my bell and you click all information every time they post. If you click, I think there's 3 options,
Here.
all relevant or something. Yeah, are you sharing your screen?
Yeah. So here's Megan, right? Megan's profile. Everyone can see it.
Yep.
And see this little bell right here. I already have you set to all.
Oh, thank you, Molly.
You're welcome. But you can see what you can do there.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
I gotta do that.
And maybe I've done it for I think pretty much everybody, but you can use that sheet that I pinned to the top of this to go through. And first of all, if you're not connected, connect. But then also if you ring the bell, and I think we have a short little video on how to ring the bell, Dana, from Squad 2 or something.
Yeah, we did that.
Okay.
One of
I
them.
feel like I should be able to figure that out. Yeah, I don't know why. First of all, now I'm not even seeing the impressions on it, but it got 29 votes. I don't know. I felt like I wanted more.
It's what is more important to a mortgage loan officer's success. Okay.
Okay, I just voted too.
Oh, it's still going?
Yeah, just let me vote.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought it was done. Oh, yeah. No,
It
there's
says
10
10
hours left. Oh, yeah. 30 votes. Okay. Thank you. Because I wanted to get results on that and then even make a little video talking about it.
Yeah.
But I don't want to make a little video and be like, all 12 people on my LinkedIn that
Do just like the guys are and just put and the general consensus of all of the voters.
Right.
Or just say the people are saying.
Yeah.
That's it.
A lot of people are
I've
telling
heard
me.
And these are your truth right there, or your truth. You know what I mean? Okay, I just voted 2.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
My internet link decided to crash, so I missed the first part. Are we looking at the from 6 days ago?
Yeah, yes, because it has 10 hours left. That's the only poll I've ever done.
Okay.
And I wasn't sure. I just wasn't. Oh, and I thought I saw somewhere like if you pass by a poll, you'll never see it again or something like that, which isn't true because I passed by. Do you think that's true, Kristen? No.
I mean, I can't say that it's not true, but I don't know.
I don't know. I do
Yeah.
think there's some poll. I mean, I feel like I scroll by some polls because I just find them dumb.
Which, by the way, if you guys want a banner to emulate, go look at Meg's. You've done a
Oh,
great.
do you like it?
I do like it.
Okay.
I do like it a lot.
All right. I was thinking about redoing it, but I like it. I don't know. It's fine. I'm leaving it for now. I don't have time to change it.
One
like
of the things I'm looking at to try on my LinkedIn banner is the new, like it'll scroll.
Oh,
type
yeah.
thing, like a revolver or whatever. So I'm going to try that on mine. I think maybe next week. No, I love that, you've obviously, are corporate, right? Embrace home loans. So
Yeah.
you've got that piece of it there, but then, you've really put in about homeownership advocate, customer experience enthusiast, like you've put your personality of you,
Yeah.
your personal brand into it. And that's exactly what we all should be doing. So I love it. And then what's the relevance to the bridge?
Honestly, I had some guy do this on Fiverr because I'm so Canva challenged, even though I do have Canva. And he had put some like weird stock photo there. So I kind of grabbed the Newport. That is the bridge. I live in Rhode Island. Our office is in Newport, Rhode Island. That's the big bridge that goes to Newport. And I was like, I just need something that'll look better. And I like quickly just sent it to the guy and he put it there. So I do find the whole thing, it's like slightly chaotic, but for now, I guess a bridge is nice too, but I will not pretend to you guys that I did it as like, because I build bridges to whatever. No, it's like, I was like talking to a guy like in like Nigeria who was making this. And I was like, here, do this, put this instead. Cause they're also up at like, they're usually doing it in the middle of the night.
How funny is that? No, I actually, I loved it. And I did kind of go to the building a bridge thing there,
that's cool.
But I thought it was probably a geographic,
Yes, it is. So it can be both.
Yeah. Cool. I love it.
Hi, Heather. Hi. And Deirdre.
Hello. Are you late or do you think that you're early? This is going to be a fun answer.
I'm late because it's less than 5 minutes before it starts.
So wait, was there a thing that this started at 9? Because I thought I saw that briefly too.
Yes.
I am not
There has
commenting.
been-
Molly can handle that. We've had this discussion before.
Jill has texted me. Dana has texted me. I posted it on LinkedIn with a wrong time.
Okay.
And then I think there's even another mistake on top of it where that when Spring Forward happened, daylight savings time, I guess, I had already set this meeting and I think some settings got really messed up. And so this is totally my fault. And I apologize, Deirdre and Heather. But we are still talking and you'll still get value out of meeting everybody and talking.
And she did record the whole thing too. So we can send that.
Okay.
Yeah, I did.
I do have to jump myself because while I was on here, my husband came in and I'm just going to go say hi. It was so amazing meeting all of you guys, and Heather and Deirdre. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to chat with you later, but I appreciate everyone's help too. Thanks, everyone. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
The same for me. The bear is home and the bear needs to be fed. So
Is that a goat or your husband? Is the bear?
The bear is my husband. Yeah. So
Dana,
just so
before
you guys
you
know,
jump off, you have so I do have a question, like looking at Meg's banner picture, What's the difference between the information that you would put there or in your title where she's got like customer experience and marketing leader, like they're very similar. So how do you choose what you focus on in the banner image versus the title?
That is such a great ask, Jill. I would say in the banner, right? Because often you're visually going to be pulled, to the banner first. So that should be the key things that you want absolutely everyone to know. So if they didn't bother to let their eyes, roll down and read anything else about you, that's what you would want to have up there. So sometimes it's maybe just one thing, like Meg, she's got 3 up there. So, she must feel, compelled about those. In the, in your information or under your your tagline, that's where I would also put, like if you look at mine, it says like Texas Longhorn breeder, right? Like I'm not going to put that up on my banner, but that's something fun that I like people to know about me, right? So don't be scared to bring in other aspects of your worlds to put it on there, because people want to see real people doing real shit. Right? So
okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, Deb. All right. Bye, Dana.
But so the last thing I was going to say, the name of our ranch is Red Bear Ranch. And so his nickname is Bear. The red is for my red hair. So that's where all of that came from. So now you don't have to wonder anymore.
Got it.
The mystery is solved. It's so good to see you guys. Thank you for always letting me participate. And there was some really cool stuff shared tonight, Molly. So I'll be looking for all the content that's coming out of this one. It's going to be great.
Yes, definitely. We'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Ladies. So Dana shared a bunch of tips, like what's important, what's not. And I think most of them, everybody, they're great reminders, like your banner is important and why your headline is important. And I'll share that recording. But I'm really glad that, first of all, I apologize that I messed up the time so much. But I am glad to have this opportunity to talk with you, and to, especially since some of you haven't been to LinkedIn Squad before, I want to talk about how we can work together and really collaborate more on the call. And so what I'd like to do is just start out by telling like what our objective is for the squad, and then just to go around and ask each one of you a kind of simple question, but not really. So our objective in LinkedIn Squad is to help each other grow our presence there, our visibility on LinkedIn, by sharing strategies, collaborating with each other, supporting each other's posts when it's relevant to your subject matter expertise, and building real visibility for each of us individually and together, right? And so before we kind of get started on this, I wanted to go around and just quickly tell all of us, number one, what would make you consider that tonight's meetup was a win? What are you really looking for that would make this worthwhile? And number two, what do you want to be known for on LinkedIn? What's that thing that we can help amplify? So Mosé, she went earlier, and